Oh man, hello, we're back. Hello everyone. It's Adrian, and you're welcome, or welcome back to the channel where I talk about my unfiltered thoughts and opinions that nobody asked for. If that sounds like something that you're into, like and subscribe. But without further ado, let's get into today's episode. Now, I'm a little bit sick. By a little bit, I mean really sick. But we're gonna ignore that part. We're gonna ignore that because nothing is gonna stop me from filming these videos. Okay, so just ignore that part. So if my voice sounds a little bit different or my face looks a little bit puffy, that's why. That's why. Now that we have that out of the way, let's get into today's episode. You know what does not work on me? Peer pressure. I don't know what it is, but it's something that has never really, ever really worked on me. When I talk to some people and I ask them why they made certain decisions in their lives and this kind of stuff. By decisions, I mean poor and bad decisions. A lot of the things that they always say is like, my friends influenced me. Sorry, excuse that. A car just passed by outside, but something that they always say is that my friends influenced me to do this and that, and they were a bad influence on me, and I just had a lot of peer pressure on me, and now I happen to do this thing and that. My thought is always like, well, but how though? I feel like with me, how I think or how I've always thought is that in order for you to do something and in order for peer pressure to work on you, for you to do something that is against your belief system and what you believe to be true or right, but then you end up doing, you have to want to do it in the first place. No amount of peer pressure can force you to do something that you do not actually want to do to begin with. Like maybe you don't want to do it that much, or you don't believe in it, but I feel like there has to be a part of you that wants to do that particular thing in order for you to be like, in order for that like peer pressure to work and that bad influence to like infiltrate your own belief system and kind of like put you in this position where you end up making decisions that you didn't want to make. And I don't know, I think I'm trying to have a little bit of nuance with this because yes, I know that peer pressure is a real thing and it can happen to people, and if you're, let's say, in a friend group and they all do certain things and you don't do that, but then in order for them to like keep hanging out with you or still be friends with you, they kind of like put this pressure on you to do the same things that they do, and maybe you don't want to do that, you don't want to do the same things, but everyone is just like, do it, but you don't want to do that. So out of that pressure or that, I guess, fear and wanting to be accepted and fitting in, you end up doing the thing. I know that's possible, but that's something that has never worked on me, literally never worked on me, because if you were to look at people that I've been friends with over the years, they're all so different and everyone has their own verses that when people look at me, they're always like, I cannot believe you don't do that. Like, I cannot believe you don't do it. I'm like, I don't do it. I do not. And I kind of have an example. Let's say all your friends smoke weed. Okay, I don't smoke weed. I never have, and I never will. I don't think I ever will, to be honest. But let's say all your friends do smoke weed, and they're all kind of like putting this pressure on you to do the same because it's the way for you guys to bond, and you guys are friends, and everybody does it, but you're the only person that does not. I guess I understand where that peer pressure can come from, that forces you to end up falling into that habit that they already do have. But also at the same time, I do not get it because I've been in those same situations so many times, but I still haven't done those things. Not judging people who do that. I mean, if you do that, that's your life, you can do whatever you want, but that's just an example. I also feel like if you're someone who doesn't have a strong sense of self and your own identity, you don't know who you are or what you want, and you're also in this vulnerable position where you crave external validation. Not that there's anything wrong with craving that, because let's be honest, we're human. Sometimes people do crave that external validation and they want to be validated by people out there. And if you're someone who's like that and also craves to like belong and wants to belong so bad, I also think it can be quite easy for you to be in this position where you can easily be influenced by others, or I guess this peer pressure can be able to work on you because you are in a vulnerable situation, because at this point you can literally do anything in order for people to like you or for you to like belong. Because bringing it back to myself, when somebody tells me, oh, we all do this and we're friends, so you have to do it, it's only right for you to do it so that we can all bond, be able to like bond easily, because we'd be on the same things, and be able to like enjoy this whole, I don't know, friendship experience or whatever. But with me, because again, I'm not saying this to like toot my own horns or anything like that, but with me, because I don't crave that, I guess, acceptance, I guess, because I already have that in my life, or that external validation, I'm able to be like, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. But no, everybody does it. Well, just because everybody does it does not mean that I have to do it. If you smoke weed or like drink, good for you, I guess. I don't. But again, I'm not saying this to judge anybody that does, but good for you again. But I do not have to do that. And if in order for us to like bond and to have a good time hanging out and spending time together, we have to be doing that respectfully, get away from me. Seriously, respectfully, get away from me. If you're someone who cannot have fun without being high or being drunk, there is nothing I can do with you. You are a shell of a person. Again, I'm not saying this to judge people who do drink or smoke. If that's your thing, absolutely go for it. All power to you. You're an adult. You can do whatever you want. But if you're someone who cannot, like, who has no personality outside of that, there's nothing I can do with you. And then you like find the same people try to put that pressure on you. Oh, but you have to do it. No, I don't have to do it, and I'm not going to, again, because I don't crave that external validation and I guess acceptance. In a way, it's easy for me to be like, you know what, no, I'm not going to do that. But everybody does it. You have to do it. No, if you don't do it, then we can't really be friends. Then I guess we can't really be friends, and I'm out for that reason. It, it's always so funny when I act like that and people are like, wow, you're so difficult. I'm not difficult. And if I am, that's like the best thing that has ever really happened to me, because I don't always have to like explain myself to people to why I don't do certain things that are really like obviously like that things that it's like really obvious they're like destructive behaviors. Why are you gonna call me, how are you gonna call me difficult or boring or someone who can't really have fun just because I have a personality without having to like take a drink or like smoke weed or any of that? Like it just does not make sense when somebody tries to like pull you into their destructive behaviors that they already have that are absolutely not good for them at all, and they kind of like have this chokehold on them to the point where they have like no agency over themselves, over their lives. And it's like, oh, then if you don't do this, you're not fun to be around. Well, I guess I'm not fun, and for that reason I'm out. I don't have to do any of this. I think being someone who's like a little bit difficult, a little bit stubborn can be really really good for you. At least for myself, in my own experience, in my life, it has done me more good than harm. It has protected me from a lot, a lot of really bad stuff. That ability to be like, to say no and disagree with people and not feel guilty, magic. That if you can do that, you can do anything. I'm the kind of person who's like, if I'm in let's say for I would be in a room with like people and everyone would like agree on something. If deep down I don't believe in that thing or don't think that it's morally good to do or any of that, I would literally get up and be like, well, no, I don't care that every single person in this room agreed on this thing. I'm not going to agree on it just because everybody else did. If I don't believe it's right, then it's not right. That's it. But everybody thinks that. But everybody thinks this. They think I don't care. You can be in a room full of like, you can be in a room filled by like, let's say 30 people. And 38 of them believe in one like particular thing or belief or whatever, and then there's two left that, wait, what am I saying? You can be in a room filled by 40 people, then you can be in a room filled by 40 people, okay? 38 of those people believe that this thing is like, it's right, it's morally right, it's a good thing to do. But then there's like the other two people that don't believe in that same belief or action or whatever. Just because majority of those people agreed on one thing does not mean that it's right. That doesn't mean, just because 90% of the people or whatever the percentage is agreed on something does not mean that it automatically is right. I'm the kind of person to come in the room and be like, well, that's really good. It's cute that you all decided to believe in this one thing. But with me, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to disagree. I don't think it's right. I just don't. And it is what it is. Everyone can just go against me, and I'll be like, you know what? Even if I'm the only one standing, if I don't believe in it or don't think it's right, I don't think it's right, unless you like prove me wrong or something. But I think that ability to just be like a little bit stubborn and like not always agree to things for the sake of agreeing is just really like, it is some kind of like superpower, and it really will protect you from a lot of really really bad decisions, and just like, moving through life and making decisions not based on your own belief system and what you believe to be true and right, and your own instincts and intuition, I guess, but based on just because most people agree on that thing or not. And it's just like, no, I'm not gonna do that, and I don't have to. So for that reason, peer pressure has never really ever worked on me, and I don't think it ever will, because everybody else can be like, you need to do this, you need to do this, then I'll get up and be like, you know what, I don't need to do that. And if you keep forcing me to do it, we're gonna have a problem. Seriously, we're gonna have a problem, and I'm never gonna be around you ever again. Because it's like, that there's this thing where you can believe in something or you can want to do something and other people not want to do it, because people always feel like, just because I like, let's say, apple juice, it means that everybody around me has to like apple juice. No, they don't have to like the same thing that I like. There are some people that like apple juice like myself, others like orange juice, and others like other different kinds of juices. Everyone is different. We don't always have to like believe or like the same stuff, and that's okay, that's normal. It doesn't always have to mean that I'm right or I'm wrong. It doesn't always have to mean that. Yeah, it just means that I just happen to like apple juice and you happen to like orange juice, and that is that. You don't have to force everybody to like the same things that you do, and if you try to force that on me, we're gonna have a problem. Seriously. Because why do I have to like the same things that you like? You can go ahead and like whatever you want, that's on you, but also let me like whatever I like and do whatever I want to do. We don't have to be like doing the same things. We don't have to have the same taste in everything. We don't have to have the same taste in the kind of movies that we watch, or the kind of music that we listen to, or the kinds of people that we date, or and it could be anything. It could be anything. But I think that's just something that does not make sense to some people. They're like, no, there's only one right answer. If I think this is the right way, then everybody has to live that way. Please shut up. Do not ruin my mood, okay? Just don't, you know? So I think for that reason, it's not easy for me to fall for peer pressure. It just does not work on me because, first of all, I'm not searching for anyone's approval or acceptance. I am whoever I am and I believe in whatever I believe in. So if you don't believe in the same things, or I don't care because everyone has permission to want whatever they want or believe in whatever they want to believe in. So it's like, yeah, I'm not searching for that acceptance or belonging and approval or external validation, and I already know who I am and what I like and what I don't like. So it's quite easy for me to be like, well, this and this is for me and this is just not for me. Why don't you do this? It's just not for me. But why everybody does it? Well, just because everybody does it does not mean that I have to do it. It's just not my thing, you know? I just don't like it. It can be quite exhausting wanting to like always having to like explain yourself to people to why you don't like certain things or do certain things. Just like, dude, I just don't care about it that much. I'm glad that you care about it and that's your thing. Good for you, but I don't happen to care about those same things. It's just not a priority to me. You know, everyone has different priorities in life. If just because you certain things are like some kind of priority to you does not mean that it has to be the same thing for me. No, 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 no. We all value different things, and that's fine. That's okay. We can all still, I guess, coexist with each other, liking different things and being into different stuff, and still be able to like respect each other's choices and decisions and beliefs. But I think that's something that isn't always easy for some people to like understand for some weird reason. It's just something that I wanted to talk about. I was like, yeah, I have to talk about this because when I hear people like, oh, peer pressure this, and you know, I had a bad influence. What do you mean bad influence? Now I'm not saying that it's impossible to have that, you know, for people to like influence you into bad habits and doing things that you don't want to do. It's a real thing. It's very possible, but I'm just saying that it also doesn't, it's not always about the people, you know. It also has a lot to do with you, but also it's human to make mistakes. It's okay if you make certain mistakes because of I don't know, peer pressure or having some kind of bad influence in your life. It happens. I'm not saying that it's impossible, okay? I'm just saying that I've never fallen for that. I've always been like laser focused and just like firm on what I want and what I believe in and what I'm into and just my boundaries and all of that. That it doesn't, to the point where no amount of peer pressure or a bad influence can like infiltrate my own beliefs and mindset and what I believe to be true and right. So I just wanted to talk about that. Again, I'm not saying that it's impossible. It's possible, you know. So if it happens in the future and I do something that's like really out of character, just know that I fell for it too. But I just don't think that's gonna happen because I'm not that kind of person. So yeah, it's something that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, I love you and take care of yourself. Thank you for hanging out. And yeah, even though I'm a little sick, I still have to do this because I love you guys and I'm not gonna abandon you. So yeah, it's something that I wanted to talk about. I love you. Take care of yourself. Let me know about what you think, you know, about your opinion. Do you think what I said is like right or wrong? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Let me know about your own perspectives and opinions, I guess. Respectfully, okay? Don't be weird. Do not. Respectful, you know. So yeah, anyway, I love you. Take care of yourself, like and subscribe if you feel like it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. I need to go take some medicine, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.